I could help you go around with the making. You're recording, so you'll need to let me know. I told her. And you're recording. You want to join us, Jill? You want to join us? Ready? Anybody else ready to wait? Just stand over here.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. I will try to make this as brief as possible in lieu of the traffic noise, the slightly cool temperatures, and the fact that there are cookies and cider waiting inside. So we'll try to do this as efficiently as possible. My name is John Cashin. Most of you know that. I have the privilege of serving as the president of the Board of Trustees. And on behalf of that board, which includes Debbie Phelps, Mary Pat Donlin, Karen Ray, and our newest addition, John Johnson. So glad to get another male on the board, right? And also, of course, on behalf of the library staff that is gathered here, and our director, Melissa Acquaviva, we welcome you to this exciting day in the history of this library and this new adventure for the library. The ship is definitely sailing in new waters, and we're glad that you're here for the maiden voyage. We also welcome Charlotte Hendricks, the mayor of Hartford, Jason Chin, who is important because he sends out tax bills, all right? And David Jones, one of our former judge executives. I may have overlooked some other dignitaries in this case, but we'll share about those perhaps in a minute. And we're glad that you're here. I just have a couple of thoughts, and I'm here as a library trustee, but I'm going to borrow a phrase from my ministerial role, because the book of Proverbs says that where there is no vision, the people perish. And I just think it's important for us to acknowledge the vision of people that came before us. I thought about the WPA and the vision back in the 30s of beginning libraries in small communities like this. And then I thought about the vision that the Hartford Women's Club had. And you were not there then in 1942, Debbie, but that the Hartford Women's Club had in 1942 to assume responsibility for the library and to deal with that. And then for those persons in this community who in the early 60s had the vision to realize that the library needed to be on a secure financial footing, and did what it took for us to be part of a taxing district and then to enable the library to build that original building, which was here when I moved into town, and was one of the things that I was so glad was here when we moved back in the early 80s to come to Ohio County. And I'm grateful for the community and the state that helped support the vision of the board in the mid-90s when we determined that we needed to double the size of the library, and what an exciting adventure that was. And when we did that, we thought, well, that's all the space we'll ever need. Ha 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 ha. If you've ever been to the library on a Tuesday night or during a children's program, you know that's certainly not the case. But because of that vision through the years, the citizens of this community have had increasing opportunities to access information and knowledge. And in recent years, as I mentioned, as the services and the patronage of the library have outgrown this building, this current board has tried to capture a vision and see a vision for how we might expand our services. So in other words, that vision continues. When this building became available over a year ago, we considered that a prime opportunity to provide additional resources. So we began conversations with First Kentucky Bank, and eventually were able to accomplish the purchase of this property. And our joy in that result is tempered by the fact, of course, that Mike Jones, a man for whom we will always associate this building, and a great community leader, and was the vice president of the board of trustees, and helped us to at least initiate that process. But as all of us know, unfortunately, is no longer with us and was not able to be part of that process, and we miss him greatly. We're so glad that Rhonda, his wife, is here today to help us to celebrate this. And if you've been inside the building, you've noticed that we have named the conference room in Mike's honor, and we're delighted to provide our thanks for his leadership, not only for this institution, but for our community in that way. So Rhonda, on his behalf, please accept our I also need to pay tribute to another group of people whose work ethic and dedication to this institution has made this day possible. This library staff has invested countless hours in preparing this building. Now, they didn't do the electrical work or anything like that, so you're okay, all right? But if you'd come over at some other time, yeah, well, some, okay, we won't go into that, all right. If you'd come over at some other time, though, you probably would have found the director on her hands and knees scrubbing in the bathroom, and the rest of the staff painting or scrubbing or cleaning or moving things or bringing stuff over from the library, or assembling shelves, or refinishing furniture, or patching holes, and above all, trying to be sure they didn't get locked in the safe. And so they have just invested so much of their time and energy, while meanwhile continuing the many programs and activities of the library. So please thank them for their work as well. So thank you so much. So what have all these people prepared for you? Well, this is a building that will include the following: a computer training room for the many classes offered by the library already in use, a genealogical area that will at last offer the space and the work area that this very popular activity deserves, meeting areas and conference rooms for groups and individuals to use as they enrich our community and further their education, storage space for historical materials that can now be centralized in one location, overflow areas for those times when every meeting room in the main library is booked, and undoubtedly there will be other uses for this building that we can't even imagine now. And so it is so exciting to be here. So the ship of discovery has embarked through both familiar territory and uncharted seas, but I think the history of this institution and the commitment of these people associated with it give us every confidence that it will be a voyage that provides wonderful services for the people we serve. Your support of the library makes this possible. And let me add parenthetically, there are pledge cards around inside the building for you to share with your friends and neighbors as we try to pay off the debt that remains on this building as quickly as possible. Little commercial announcement there, but a very needed one. We appreciate your support. We thank you for being present today for the grand opening of the Annex. We are glad that Nicole Wolf, wave your hand, okay, who is our regional librarian, is here to support and to celebrate with us today. And we're also grateful that Charlotte Hendricks is here as the mayor, and she has a presentation to make to the library as well. So before we cut the ribbon, we'll allow her to do that. Yes.
Across the street.
And a tool shed at one time, I understand.
So it has grown immensely, and on behalf of the city of Hartford, we are excited that this is not just sit here in this empty building and are thrilled that this has passed. So we would like to say, Melissa, congratulations to the Ohio County Public Library on the grand opening of your new library annex. Thank you. And on behalf of the city and the city council, that this is public. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else from our trustees that you would like to add? Okay. So in that case, I'm not sure what the protocol is, but I'm going to ask all the trustees to come over here, and Melissa, okay, to come around the ribbon. Okay. All right, Rhonda, and let me invite you to join us as well, please. All right. And on behalf of the staff and the trustees, we are delighted to officially declare the annex open. And I just hope this cuts. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey!